Okay, so when we talk about alcohols, alcohols is just the addition of those OH groups. We've already kind of talked about that earlier, kind of mentioned it. So the generic form of it again is ROH. Okay, so this here is considered our primary carbon. So if we have the alcohol coming off our primary carbon, then it's considered a primary alcohol. Right? So this is a primary alcohol. Now, if we have chains on both sides of this and our alcohol is on our secondary carbon, then it's considered a secondary alcohol. If we have chains that are coming off of this carbon, all three sides, then this guy is called a tertiary alcohol. Okay, pretty simple. So the concept of tertiary is exactly the same. The concept of a secondary is exactly the same. And the concept of primary is exactly the same. Okay, so that's not going to change. Okay, so knowing what you guys know now, let's go ahead and name these alcohols. So first alcohol, is anybody there? They're interviewing for. You're interviewing for people right now, so they're mostly at the district. Okay, so I would like you guys to name this the systematic way and also the common way. Okay, got some names for me? Its common name. What was that? Is ethanol its common name? Ethyl alcohol. That's right. Ethanol would be its systematic name. What's that? Okay, so its systematic name is ethanol. Okay, so remember with the common name, they use the ethyl, they use the YL all the time, and then they put whatever it is, ethylamine, right? Ethyl, propyl, ether, right? And so they use the ethyl. So ethyls are used in that context. Okay, so what about this guy? Propyl alcohol. Jesse was playing with that earlier, right? He comes to me, he's like, isn't this propanol? And its systematic name? I was gonna say who picked it up. I get it, I get it. Okay, this guy. What was that? That again? Iso what? Isopropyl? Isopropyl alcohol, okay? Yes, systematic name means IUPAC, yes. Okay. What was it? Ethanol? Would it be, you said, what was that? Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. 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 So then what would you call it? Nope. You're right. 1-methyl. Actually, you just put -methyl ethanol. I really don't like that. I like the space in between it. It just makes it feel so much better. Okay. What about the next one? Yes, you can also call it isopropanol. That's both systematic and common mixed together. So it's kind of like Spanglish, right? Technically, that would be wrong. Yes. Yeah, because we have Spanglish. I mean, because we have the between the two, right? So, okay. What about this guy? Let's ask iso. Isobutyl alcohol. Okay. So common name. I mean the systematic name. 2-methyl. Propanol. Okay. Okay, and this is what they look like down below, right? Or no? No, it isn't. These are two different ones, 3 different ones. This first one, red is oxygen, white is hydrogen. That's also the same in your where is it? Okay. You can do them off the fly. How many carbons is that? Come on now. You guys act like you need a crutch. It's methyl. That's right. You said methyl alcohol would be the common name. Methyl alcohol. Okay, and then you said methanol. Okay, what about this guy? Well, that should be easy, right? The same one as up here, right? Ah, yeah. Okay. And this guy? Same one as right there, right? Simple. So let's see if we can make it harder. No. Okay, home, you guys are good?
Yes.
Okay, so we know how to do the systematic name. We put just OH. I mean, the OH means we put OL. I'm on it today. So we're going to use a suffix. And we know in terms of priority, right? So you guys have your priority sheets? Where does alcohol fall? Where does alcohol, what was that? Lie, thank you. Lie on the priority sheets. I was going to say file. I cannot think of it. We're in the middle. Okay, so of the ones that we've talked about. So we've talked about acyl aldehydes. We've talked about alkanes. We've talked about esters. And we've talked about, I'm going to start esters. Ethers. We talked about ethers, not esters yet. We'll get to esters. What was that? And alkanes. Okay, so it's above all of them, right? Yes. Yes, that is right. Well, there are things that are not included in there. Okay, so, and yeah, there are things that are not included in it. Okay, so and also there's what's being done. Like for instance, you have your ether. So typically, what they'll do, they'll say the alcohol and then ether. So they'll use a combination of Spanglish. They'll put the alcohol. So they'll put ethanol or diethanol ether, right? So that means that you have alcohols in between at the end of each of the O in the middle, right? Or you'll have like methyl diethanol ether. So methyl ethanol ether. Okay. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Oops. Okay. So with these alcohols, the rules are going to apply the same. We're not going to do anything that's crazy, right? And so we do the systematic name. You always want to find the longest chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. And then here, we just have to put where the alcohol is at, right? So in this case, you could write it as 3-pentanol, okay? Or I could write it as pentane-3-ol, okay? The pentane lets me know that they're all single chains. 3 tells me where the alcohol is at, okay? Yeah, I know it doesn't look pretty, but this makes it a little bit easier to keep track of multiple things because we're talking about double bonds that are involved in here. You also have to give me where those double bonds are located at, okay? So are you guys with me so far? Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons, right? Longest chain. So 6 carbons, it's that hexa, right? And then there's an alcohol at the end, so it's hexanol. So now we have to say where that alcohol is at because we have another functional or side group that's hanging off, right? So here we have a methane. So this is always going to be the 1 carbon. We're going to start the 1 carbon since we have a terminal alcohol. Again, numbering is still going to go the same way. We always want to try to get the lowest number possible, right? Lowest number possible. So you always want to have the lowest number possible, but you want to make your functional group a priority if you have options. Okay, does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, good. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3. On the 3rd carbon, we have the methyl group. Okay. So So we name this guy 3-methyl-1-hexanol. Okay. So, or we can name it 3-methyl-hexane-1-ol. Okay. You guys got that? Okay. This guy, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is our longest carbon change. We want to put it on the lowest number. So the alcohol is on the second chain. The hydroxyl group is on the second chain. So this guy would be called 2-butanol or butyl-2-ol. Okay. So this guy, we're going to start on this side because the OH is here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So then this guy is called pentanol. Right. So it'll be 2-ethyl, since this is a 2-carbon chain, 1-pentanol. Or 2-ethyl pentyl 1-ol. Simple, not too hard. Good. Okay. So this guy, a little more complicated, right? So we have, what is this functional group here? An ether. So we have an ether in the middle of our alcohol, right? So how will we name this? Who has priority? Do we use the ether name or do we use the... So the alcohol has priority, right? So in that case, we want to name the alcohol. The alcohol is 1, 2, 3, 3-carbon chain. So then we'd call this 1-propanol and then 3-buoxy. Okay, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-carbon chain. Okay, so even though the longest chain is over here, the alcohol has priority. So we're going to go with the alcohol's name. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, what is this guy called? If we have 2 functional groups. The systematic name. Systematic name? So you're saying hexane, right? And you said 2, 4. What was it? 2, 4, sorry, 2, 3. So 2, 4. Are you sure it's all? There's 2 of them, so how do I define 2? Diol. Okay. Okay, what about this one? Okay, you got to talk louder. You can't be so shy. Okay, so then 5 would be penta. So we're going to number from left to right. So this is 1, 2. Okay. Okay. So then what am I going to write? Okay. Okay. There's also a meth group. Okay. Or we could have named it 4 dash methyl dash 2 3 dash pentanol. No, no, because you have two. Do you have 2 pentanols, or do you have 2? The di goes with the alcohol. Okay. There, in this case, there wouldn't be common names associated with this. As we know, not all things have common names. We can make some common slang, maybe, but okay. They have a lot of typos in the book. Okay, questions, concerns? Kool-Aid? Okay. Mike. Okay, so now we know that alcohols have a higher priority than acyl halides. So if we're going to do the nomenclature, right, where are we going to start counting from? The alcohol, right? If we have a choice, because here we have a choice. So we have that 1, 2, 3, and this guy will be called he said 3. You guys got to talk louder. You act like you're shy. 3 bromo propanol. Yeah, you would need to add it, but it doesn't hurt. So you could actually, both would be correct. So you could have put 1. And typically when you have a ring or a functional group on there, you add it. So, but you could get away with not doing it because then it's understood that the alcohol is on the 1. Okay. This guy. So again, we have choices, right? Here, the alcohol has priority. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so remember when I told you, we start talking about those different functional groups. So all of those lower ones, the esters, okay, so they all, I'm sorry, the ethers, the acyls, acyl halides, and the alkanes, they're all about equivalent in terms of priority. Okay, almost all. So if you have a choice, you always want to go with the one that's technically higher. Okay. What do you mean? Yeah, so even if it doesn't give you no, so in terms of once we get to the alcohols, because the alcohols are kind of like our turnoff point. So the alcohols and above, those guys have priority, right? You want to try to get those the smallest number possible where they're located. Okay. The ones that are below that, the aldehydes, the the ether, those guys, they're all about the same level in terms of priority. Don't ask me why. I can't tell you why. I wish I did. I didn't make that decision. because it makes it a lot harder. Me, I would have made it so that they were all consistently based upon priority. So, okay, so in this case, this guy would be called, based off on what you guys know, four, okay, 2. Okay. And again, you'll notice there's a transitional point where the nomenclature changed, right, in terms of priority and everything. And so a lot of the new systematic, that's why they went from the IUPAC, now they call it the systematic way, right, to incorporate the change that initially started. But it's still IUPAC because IUPAC is changing consistently. Okay, here. So again, alcohol has priority, right? It beats out the alkanes. So we start here, this will be the 2. So then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this alcohol would be called 4 dimethyl 2 carbon chain. You said what? Okay, piece of cake. Okay, they're easier now. Ethers, yeah, yeah, yeah. They are a little bit easier than ethers. Yeah. Also because they're priority, because the ethers would put the oxy. They're always going to have the oxy on there, right? Because they're considered low on the totem pole. Okay. This is just, it's kind of stressing the points here. So clear. Okay, so in terms of orientation, so longest chain, second carbon. So we can write it as 2-butanol, or we can write it as butanol 2-all. Longest chain, 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so although this is bad, right? See, here's the longest chain technically, right? But because the alcohol is there, it provides us with the longest chain because it's a higher priority, right? So the longest chain containing the alcohol. Does that make sense? Because that's 1, 2. I guess technically these are the same because I have 1, 2, and then 1, 2. So I want to contain the alcohol in this case. Does that make sense? Abby, are you there?
Yeah, I got kicked out and then I came back in.
Okay. So here, this is that case again we just talked about, was that longest chain for the alcohol compared to the ether. Okay, you guys are awake? Looks like your eyes are looking heavier than mine are. Okay, so what would we name these guys? Then I'll throw up a few. Okay. 4 dash fluoro. What's that? Yeah, come on in. Yep. Which lab are you planning on doing? Okay, do you pull it out and then we'll get the supplies for you. So you're gonna do me a favor and help her out. Okay, so you said 4 dash. Are you sure it's 4? You want to give the lowest number possible, right? Remember, if you can get everything really low, then you want to get everything really low. So that'll be 2 chloro. Okay. What about the next one? Two methyl for ethanol. I could spell today. Are you said 2 heptanol? Okay. 2, 3, 6, 7. Okay. And then the last one. Three methyl cyclo. Okay. Piece of cake, not too hard. Eyes getting heavy. Yeah. Okay. So let's try a couple more, and then I'll give you guys a run for your money. We'll make up some challenging ones. Okay. These guys. Okay, so that's the answers. Let's go. Come on, come on. Mauricio, let's go. Ready. We have 7. Said bromo. 4 methyl. Did you say methyl or ethyl? Got it. Okay. The second one. Israel. You can type it on my board.
Oh, okay.
And then you can say it. As you type it. You're going to need about, calculate it. You're going to need about 70 mils of it. Is that about 70 mils? Okay. I think that's a little short on 70 mils. But there's another thing. Okay, last one. Abby. Type it up on my board.
Yes. Dr. Henry,
Yes, ma'am.
looking at the last one, would it also add cyclo to it or no?
What do you think?
I think yes, because it has the
That's
formation.
right.
Okay.
That's right. So yes. Type in there, Abby.
Yes, hold on. Okay, it's not. Would it be 4,2-ethyl, right? 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then ethyl. And then I need, oh shoot, hold on, I need the other ones.
Okay. So Abby, is there an OH in there?
Yes.
Okay, if there's an OH in there, then what do I know it has to have at the very end?
That's ANOL.
Okay. So let's see if I can click onto your thing here. So we need an OL. Okay. And where's that OL located at?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Remember what
5.
about the circle? Do I have choices?
In the 5th?
No. It has priority, remember? So if it has priority, you want to make it number what?
Number 1.
Number 1. That's right. So it has number 1 priority. Okay. So then we have, you said we have an ethyl. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 this way, that would give me the lowest number, right? If we said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lowest number, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So since we have the lowest number that way, then our ethyl is going to be where?
In the 5th, not the 4th.
Where's the ethyl going to be?
Wait,
Look at the numbering, the pink numbers.
in the 2nd.
Second, okay. And then the methyl
In the 5th.
in the 5th. So it'll be 5 methyl dash. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I had it. I counted the other way. I had the
Yeah.
long numbers.
Yeah. So remember, lowest number and your priority is priority.
Okay.
Piece of cake?
No.
You're supposed to lie to me and make me feel good, okay?
Yes, piece of cake.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. Oh, because we were slackers. I should have had one there too. You should include the 1, yes. If there's no constituents, then it's understood, right? Otherwise, you have to tell us. Oh, wait, you're saying, could I put cycloheptane-1 -all? Yeah, you could do that as well. Gosh. No, meth has 5 because where it's located at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's off the 5th carbon chain. Yeah. So always remember the number represents the location. It's telling you where it's at. Okay. If you remember the number represents the location, you'll be okay. Now, what gets complicated is when we start talking about the different functional groups because they have priorities. Alcohol has priority over everybody below it, right? And so then you want to try to give that the lowest possible number. Okay. And then it affects everything else. Okay. So we talked about it before. All the other ones, they're all on the same plane, right? Because they're all considered pretty low. They're low men, right? They're just the working class, right? They're all equals. But it's the rich people that really count, you know? So after you start making well over $100,000, you can be rich, right? You start making $200,000.
Well, it would depend on which one closer, because if you went the other way, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this way it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 is smaller than 3, so we went with the 2. Because it would be 1 on the alcohol, and 3 would be the methanol, and 5 would be the ethanol. But the other way around, you still have smaller numbers. You still have the 5, but in one of them you have a 3, the other one you have a 2, 2 is smaller than 3. So you would take the 2. I suck at explaining things.
Okay. So he's saying if we started and we count it the other way, that's what was that? If we had 5, right? So if we had 5 and this was over here, right here, instead of, yeah, okay, we're cutting off this one right here. Okay, so you're saying we have this. Okay, so I have options now, right? So anytime that I have options, then we refer to the alphabet, right? Because I have the option of my ethanol, or I have the option of my methanol, right? Okay. It has priority because it's an E and not an M. So because this, like you said, I can count this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, if this is an alcohol here, right? Which one would have priority? The alcohol would have priority, right? Because it's more important. Okay. Okay. Questions, concerns, Kool-Aid? Okay, that's good. Okay, now, bottom line, you guys understand how it works, right? So we have our side chains, right? Side chains come first. Then we have the hydrocarbon parent, and then we put all. Now, this is going to be the same format for a lot of the other ones that we're going to be talking about. You always put your side chains first, your parent hydrocarbon, and then the suffix. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Before we go on, I'm going to introduce one more, and then we'll make it hard. Is that full? Full? Is that full? Okay, so amines. So we've kind of already talked about amines. We're going to re-talk about them because this book is kind of quick, right? Okay, so this is ammonia, right? You guys remember what ammonia looks like? You guys remember what ammonium looks like, right? This here is considered a primary amine, where you have one hydrocarbon, nitrogen, and two hydrogens. A secondary amine means that you have two hydrocarbons coming off of the nitrogen. A tertiary amine means that all three possible choices are all going to be hydrocarbons. Okay, so I'm going to teach you the function. I'm going to teach you the functional way. I'm going to teach you the common way. Then I'm going to teach you the systematic way. Okay, so they're not too far from each other, to be honest. What was that? Yeah, because then you always get, okay, so do I do it? I'll put an A and E in here, or do I, yeah. Yeah, it does. It does make it a little confusing, but it's the way it works. You're like, damn, when you just stick to one way? The problem is that you have old scientists that are like, they're so used to the common way, and they're not going to give it up, you know? And what was that? Yeah, just poison them, right? Just give them a little cyanide. That's all. Solves everything, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So when we talk about the common way, all we do is put, if this was a methyl, we put the YL in this case, and then you call it amine, right? That lets me know that it's a primary amine. In this case, I'd put the longest chain, right? Well, gets, no. So let me take this right. They would both be, it would be, let's say it was a methyl and an ethyl, right? So then it would be alphabetical. It'll go methyl, ethyl, amine. Okay. If I had three chains, let's say it was methyl, ethyl, and propyl, again, alphabetical, it would be ethyl, methyl, propyl, amine. Okay, that's the common way. Okay, so common way is using the YL prefix and amine. Okay, so when we are doing it the systematic way, this is the common way. I don't know if I like systematic. I think I like IUPAC because it sounds cool. IUPAC. Like I make you pack, right? Okay, so the IUPAC way is you tell me what each arm is. So let's say we have, I'm going to draw one up to make it simple for us. So if we have this guy. Okay. What would I call this guy? What do you guys think? Based upon what we just talked about for a systematic name. Well, let's do with the common name first. Common name, this guy would be called what? Methylamine. Okay. Systematic name. Think about what we just talked about. So it said side chains, hydrocarbon suffix. So what do you guys think it would be? It's very similar. Oh, somebody wrote something? Who did? Who wrote something? I don't see anything up there. This one here? I wrote that one. That was the common name. Methamine. Methanamine. Yes. Right? Methanamine. Right? You drop the E. Yep. Because the AN means what? What does the AN mean? Single bonds. Single bonds. That's right. Okay. So if I have this guy, that would be what? Okay. So common name. Start with the common name. Butyl amine. And it's butanamine. Okay. What's that? Hey, it's pretty good. Okay. And because we can put the amine on different ones, we also have to do something else in this case. I said, because we can put the amine on different carbons, because it could have been on the first carbon, it could have been on the second carbon, it could have been on the third carbon. So then I need to put one. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's see if we can make it a little bit harder now. Okay, let's do this. What was that? Yeah. Yes, you can do it like the alcohols. So you could have put your one here. So it could have been, I'm sorry, bad instructor. So I could have did you. Yeah, so you can do that as well too. Again, looks very ugly. Yeah. Okay, this guy. Common name. Butyl. Propyl. Okay. Butylpropylamine. Okay. What about systematic name? You prioritize the longest carbon chain. Okay, sounds good. So that would be at the very end, okay? There you go. Okay. No, you're thinking about it correctly. Okay, so let me introduce you another term, right? Okay, since you have things that are coming off, multiple things that are coming off of the nitrogen. So now we're going to use the capital N, okay? So that lets us know that it's coming off of the nitrogen, okay? So this guy would be called N, and this is 1, 2, 3. So it'll be N. 3 would be propyl. And then this guy is 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would be 1 butamine, butanamine. Okay. Or we could have done it the other way, or we just use the, again, the N propyl. Yeah, my family thinks I just make shit up. They see this and they're like, what are you making up now? Okay. Questions, concerns, Kool-Aid? You have a question? Okay. What do you mean? Up here? No, that's because this is the common way. You understand? So common way, we just list the ones that are attached to the nitrogen. So it'll be butyl. Butyl is before B. I mean, B is before P. Oh, I see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Remember, the first one is just a connection between the nitrogen and the carbon. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, so let's see if we can make it a little bit harder, right? Systematic always has the A and E, right? And the N. Yeah, if they're more than a primary amine. Okay, so when it's a secondary or tertiary, then you have to say it's coming off the N. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let me see. And
like that ending. It's like the ending. At the end of the formula, it doesn't even end. But the same.
I think I understand what you're asking. So you're saying if it's at the end, the only way it'll be at the end is if it's a terminal amine and there are no other hydrocarbons, right? So if it's a terminal amine, that also means a primary, right? So that means that you have H's there. So then that's always going to be, in that case, you don't have to put the N there. Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay, so just draw another drawing. Let's see. I did that. 2, 3, 4. Not making fun of my drawing. I don't have a nice fancy stamp like you guys do. I'm poor. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That's a six carbon ring structure. There is a common name. Yes. Yes, I want both the systematic and the common names. That's a given, right? Okay, we got an answer. You think? So what is it called? Common name. Butyl, propyl, propyl, cyclo, hexyl, amine. Okay, so alphabetically. Okay. Okay, questions, concerns, relate. Okay, systematic name. Sorry. I try to see how you're going to get that to work. You need one more component. Yeah. It's another. So, okay, we got a name. And butyl. Okay. So we got N, butyl, oops, crap, N, butyl, and propyl. Propyl. 1 cyclo hexanol amine. Okay. Or you said same thing. This copy. That's right. It's telling us that it comes off the nitrogen. Right. Little n would be neo, right? Or it'll say neo. That means that the chains is linear and it's all connected, right? So capital N means it's coming off the nitrogen. Okay, questions, concerns, Kool-Aid? Okay, that's clear. What time is it? Okay, let's take a 5-minute break, pee-pee break. You guys don't want to. 5-minute pee-pee break, 5-minute pee-pee break. Yeah, entirely. Okay, let's see. We'll start with the hard. Let's start hard way and then work our way back. Okay. Okay. Ready? Here's the first one. Here's the first one. Okay. Don't worry. While you guys are doing that, I'll be putting up my other ones. I can't do it at the same time. I have to wait. Put up that piece of paper. Yes, if you can give me the systematic and the common. It might be a little more challenging for this one. Okay, we've got some answers. Yeah? No? Maybe? Okay, so let's do for the first one then. 3-chloro. Capital N. Ethyl. One. Okay. Okay, let's see. Common name. No common name. Common name will be too hard, right? Because you have a chloro group, which would be a chloride, and then you have an amine group, which would be amine. So how would you decide? Methyl butylamine chloride. You're just like, I'll just put them together and it don't matter where they're at. You just put them there. So no, because of the fact that you have the amine and the chloride, it would be able to do a combination. So we would go with the IUPAC. Okay, what about this guy? There's no common name for this. No, the only time I'll ask you for a common name if there is a common name. Yes, there will be Yes, because we've talked about when, like for instance, yeah. So wait, hold on. Let me give you, like, for instance, we've already talked about this, right? Because we talked about the hexane, right? So can you have a sex? Can you have a sec hexane? Hex. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it'll be something like that. Can you have, yeah. Can sex hexane be a common name for this one? What was that? Yeah. No. It won't be like that. Yeah. Okay, I'm confused. Thank you for the clarity. Okay, so the next one. Just the systematic name. Although this one you could actually do actually no, let's do still a common name for this one too. Oh, I'm not telling you anything. Common name. Look at the structure. Just saying. I see carbons.
Oh, wait, you want the common name?
Mhm.
Oh, so it would be.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Okay, there's no common name. Is there no common name?
No, it's not a trick question. There is a common name you can get from this. Look at the structure. That's all I'm gonna say. Look at my structure. There's no things that pass out. Although this one is, wait, technically 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So the common name will be hard. I'll pass up on the common. Give me the systematic name. But there is a common name. Yeah, I'll pull it together for you.
Or the other way would be X and 3.
Okay, hold on. You said N ethyl. Okay. 5-methyl. Okay. 3. Hexanamine. Okay. Yeah, we could have it right here. Okay. You guys agree with that? No disagreement? Okay. What about the last one? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here, so if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, common name, so we have an iso, right? And then this would be the one common, and then we'd have one ethyl iso ISO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then that would be pentyl. So then it would be ethyl, 1 ethyl isopentyl amine as the common name. It'll be ethyl, so it'll be parentheses, ethyl isopentyl. This is an iso. Right there, iso. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say ethyl. So it'll be parentheses, it'll be ethyl, parentheses, ethyl isopentyl. Is that this here's the isopentyl. Amine. Isopentyl. Okay, this guy. Okay, Abby, help me out. Tricky.
Can you help me on this one? Because this one's kind of tricky for me.
Okay. So longest carbon chain.
So there's 5.
Okay, 5 carbons is what?
Pentane.
Okay. Pentane. And so we know there's an amine attached to that. Where's the amine located at? So pentanamine.
Would it be on 2?
It will be on the 2. Okay. What else is attached to that chain?
The bromo. The bromo.
Bromo.
And
So
that's in 4.
4 bromo. Okay. N dash dimethyl. Yeah, dimethyl.
So that one we wouldn't put the number. We would just put N.
Yeah, because it's attached to the nitrogen.
Oh, okay.
Good job. That's correct. Okay, what about this guy? Longest carbon chain. Sorry. I remember priority. Okay, cyclo what? Cyclohexane. Cyclohexane amine. Okay, where's it located at? That's right, number 1, 1 of 1, baby. Okay, and then two, and you said 2 what? Ethyl? Ethyl. Oh, and there's a propyl alpha the N. So it'll be capital N and propyl. Okay. Preguntas. Okay. Good job. Piece of cake. Common names. What was that? Yeah, I've corrupted you. I gave you my bias in the beginning. I should have kept it to myself. So, oh, common names are so good. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so these are quaternary ammonia salts. You guys know what, I'm sorry, ammonium salts. So quaternary, let me clear. Quaten means 4, right? So basically we have 4 attachments to our nitrogen. So we have that extra one that's coming on there, okay? So this guy will be called tetramethyl ammonium hydroxide, and this guy would be called ethyl dimethyl propyl ammonium hydroxide. Let me ask you this: is this a common name or is this a systematic name? It is a common name. Yes. All right. That's right. Yep. Okay, so at this point, we have talked about the alkaline halides, the ethers, the alcohols, the amines. So these are the groups that kind of gives you an idea. You know, we're substituting the bromo in the alkaline halides. So we put an O on the end of the halogens. In the case of the ethers, we put oxycotton, right? Oxy, okay. So the alcohols we put on OL, all, and then the amines we put in amines, right? Okay, the common name, we end with the bromide, we end with the ether, we end with the alcohol, we end with the amine, okay? And we use the YL, okay? Questions, concerns, Kool-Aid? Yes, ma'am.